We're at number 8 now, going through this Quizizz, helping you practice for your Algebra 2 exam. To add or subtract rational expressions, we must have a blank. So rational means fraction. So they're talking about fractions. Expression, no equal sign. So to add or subtract fractions with no equal sign, what do we have to do? We have to have the common denominator. All right, greatest common factor, that would be if you're factoring, pulling something out. A calculator, that's just a distractor. Proportion, that would be if you're trying to do some sort of a similarity comparison. So common denominator. Add the following rational expressions. All right, well, we need our common denominator. The trick here is if these bottom numbers are different, and this is an x minus 5, which is different than an x plus 8. Remember, the plus or the minus sign trap the letter. So these are both trapped. They're both different. We usually just multiply them together. So this one is missing the x plus 8. So the least common multiple is what it's called. Sometimes we write those out. So it's the number that both of these go into, which is the x plus 8 times the x minus 5. So what is it missing? This one's missing the x plus 8, so it has to be multiplied to it. What's this one missing from here? It's missing the x minus 5. Notice I have to put these in parentheses, otherwise it means something different. Real easy to confuse that if you don't. Now, when you do it, when you multiply these, you have to balance it. So what's missing? The balance is missing. This one has to be balanced, plus 8. Remember, this is really just 1. X plus 8 over x plus 8. I can multiply this by that because this is really 1. That's a like neutral number for multiply. So what does the top have to be here? X minus 5. X minus 5. That's what keeps it balanced. These two have to be the same when you're multiplying by it. Remember, there's no equal sign, so you can't do things to both sides. You have to do it to top and bottom of the fraction to keep it balanced. All right, so this one also has parentheses. So the 3 is going to distribute right here. The 4 is going to distribute right here. And our answer has to have that same bottom number, the least common multiple. So it has the x plus 8 times the x minus 5. And then just be careful about the order. All of this is on top now, all right? So this left side has to be first, so that's 4x, and that's minus 20. Notice how the arrows really help. This is the same plus sign, and then this is a 3x and a plus 24. So we have that same bottom number, x plus 8 times x minus 5. What's on top? 4x and 3x makes 7x. Negative 20 plus 24 make 4. So it looks like this one right here. Let me just double check. Sometimes they might try to trick you. X minus 5, x plus 8 on the bottom. Yep, 7x plus 4, check. And there we go. All right, same game here. We're adding the fractions. There's a shortcut here if you can see it. So since we're doing it the best way, you can always multiply these out, and it just means you might have to reduce things and give yourself more work later. But if you can see a shortcut, that'll help. So let's look at this bottom right here. Do you notice anything? We've been working with factoring here. So what can I do on the bottom here? You're always, especially for this test, this is like a factoring test with reducing and everything. You're always looking for things to factor, a greatest common factor, difference of squares, perfect square trinomials, anything like that. So in this case, it's a greatest common factor. There's a 2 in common. So that leaves an x plus 4 right here. See, there's the x plus 4 also. So our least common multiple the bottom number that has to be the same, the common denominator, is 2 times x plus 4. Why don't we multiply these together? Because they have exactly the same x plus 4 in here. X plus 4 goes into both of them, so we just need that 2. So what's missing here? I need a times 2 right here. What you do on the bottom, you have to do on the top to keep it balanced. All right, and so all of that's getting multiplied to the top. I'm going to keep it in this factored form on the bottom here. So on the bottom is a 2 times x plus 4. That way, if anything cancels at the end, we can still cancel it. If you multiply it out, you kind of cloud what you could have reduced later. So just multiply it out at the end if you need to. So we have that 5x right there. That same plus sign. I'm going to distribute this 2 to both parts of the binomial. So that now is a 6x and a minus 2. It turns into 5x and 6x make 11x minus 2, and that same 2 times x plus 4 on the bottom. And notice, so you just got to be careful. Sometimes the top might have a greatest common factor. You might have another layer to it to try to reduce out. But in this case, it looks like there's nothing we can do on the top. Yep, there it is. Adding these, 4x minus 7, 4x minus 7, where they're being nice on this. So it has that same bottom number, 4x minus 7. It already has the common denominator. So you have a 2x minus 3, that same plus sign, 2x minus 3. That's going to give you that same bottom number, 4x minus 7. And on the top, 2x and 2x make 4x. Negative 3 and negative 3 make negative 6. Okay. Can I reduce these 4x's? No, the minus sign traps it. The minus sign traps it. So there's nothing we can do here. The top does have a greatest common factor. So that just as a side note, so the side work, just to see if anything kind of reduces. So that turns into, it has a 2 in common. So there, that would leave a 2x minus 3. There's not a 2x minus 3 on there. So I was just kind of doing that in my head, but I really want to add, if you can reduce anything or factor it again, you need to take that opportunity. But you cannot cancel the 4's, x's, because they are trapped by those minus signs. 4x minus 6, 4x minus 7. All right, let's see how we do here. I like my red color. All right, so this bottom right here, I've been telling you to watch out for these. That's your difference of perfect squares. Did you notice that? That's an x plus 6 and x minus 6. Anything else that we can reduce or factor? No. All right, so then our least common multiple, W, upside down writing all of a sudden. Least common multiple, notice that it has an x plus 6 in it, so it's the x plus 6 times the x minus 6. All right, so what's this one missing? It's missing the x minus 6. You remember what we have to do to keep things balanced? Has to multiply to the top also. All right, and there's nothing on the left. I've already factored it on the left here. So putting this all together, we have that x minus 6, x plus 6 on the bottom. Nothing changed on this first part, so it still has the 2x on top. There's the same x. That x right there is the same as this x right here. And then this right here is the x plus 4 times x minus 6. All right, so now we have to multiply this top out, combine it with the 2x to see if anything else reduces. And notice that's what they've done also. So x plus 4 times x minus 6. So that's your generic rectangle if you need it. And I've already gone over one of these, so let me know if you need me to do it again. Otherwise, you just fill it in. And you should get x squared. These numbers added together make negative 2x. These numbers multiplied together makes negative 24. All right, so if you fill in this generic rectangle, you have to get this as your final answer. All right, so just kind of confirm that, make sure you're doing it. If you know my shortcut, that's totally fine to take that once you know it. All right, so now all of this turns into, we have the 2x on top, then all of this, it's a plus sign, plus, that's an x squared, minus 2x, minus 24, all over, and x plus 6, x minus 6. All right, and then it looks like we have the 2x and a minus 2x. Those reduce out. And we have x squared minus 24. 24 is not a perfect square. So if that was a perfect square, they would probably have to factor it again, but it's not. So we're probably okay at this step. So x squared minus 24, and we have the same bottom. All right, on this next one. All right, so notice for our least common multiple, there's nothing in common with an x minus 4 and a 3x plus 1. We are subtracting. So this is the case where you just multiply them together. All right, go ahead and switch to my red that I like. And so now what's this one missing? It's missing the x minus 4. What's this one missing? It's missing the 3x plus 1. All right, remember you have to keep things balanced, so that means this has to have an x minus 4 on top. This one has to have a 3x plus 1 on top to keep things balanced. I'm just kind of doing it at a different stage here, so hopefully you have more of a connection with that. All right, so I'm going to distribute this right here. Distribute it right here. And the 8x distributes to this one and this one. Now, there's a little adjustment that I can make right here. Notice we have a minus sign. So that minus sign just kind of makes things a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and a minus sign. So just for the side work, if you have negative 1/2, that's equal to negative 1 over 2, which is equal to 1 over negative 2. The point I'm making here is the negative sign can go anywhere. That kind of helps you in the problem, so long as there's only one negative sign. So this negative sign is applying to this 11 right here. I think that's what I want to do, is I'm going to go ahead and just apply it to the 11, make it plus, so there's less kind of confusion going on here. So I'm changing this to a negative 11, and so that becomes a plus sign. All right, so now that's a negative 11 that's distributing, and I'll be adding these together so I don't have to worry about it. And basically, I'd have to distribute another negative sign again, making double work for me. So I'm just trying to streamline myself a little bit. I'll move the negative sign up right now and distribute everything together. All right, so what do we have on the bottom? X minus 4, 3x plus 1. On the top, 8x times 3x is 24x squared. 8x times 1 is 8x. On this side, negative 11 times x is negative 11x. Negative 11 times negative 4 is positive 44. All right. Now, if I hadn't moved that negative sign up, this would have been put, a negative sign, and I would needed another parenthesis. It just makes it more complicated. So this way it streamlines it a lot. All right, so what's in common here? The x's go together. So I now have 24x squared. X's go together, so minus 3x plus 44 all over x minus 4, 3x plus 1. All right. And, oh, gee. So some of them are factored out. Some of them are multiplied out. It'd be really nice if they stuck to the same format, but that's fine. So we have to kind of check both. So x minus 4, 3x plus 1, x minus 4, 3x. So these match on the bottom. What about the top? 24x squared minus, nope. What about this one? 24x squared minus 3x plus 44. 24, okay, so it has to be, so it's not these. It has to be one of these two, so they want us to multiply this out. This is not easy to multiply, so I don't do this one with my trick because of that 3 in front. So just take the time, do your generic rectangle like we've practiced. (3x squared) negative 12x x negative 4. These combine. So this is, the bottom is the same as 3x squared minus 11x minus 4. There it is right there. Okay. So if I wanted to, I can rewrite it on top, but we're just matching the bottom number. So I think we're okay on this one. Next, subtract. So when we look at this, I need to know what this bottom is in terms of factors. So I have to factor that bottom so that I know what my least common multiple will be. What numbers multiply to be negative 32 and add to be 4? X plus 8, x minus 4. X plus 8 times x minus 4. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. 8 plus negative 4 is positive 4. Check. So our least common multiple is this. So I'll just go ahead and kind of streamlining here. It's a lot of writing that I'm doing on this one. And so what's the least common multiple or the common denominator that we need? It's missing the x plus 8 on this one. So I'm going to multiply by x plus 8. Multiply top and bottom by x plus 8. That's what keep it balanced. All right. So now what do we have? Okay. Well, we have that bottom number, x minus 4, x plus 8. On the top, there's that 6. And there's no easy way. Well, there is some tricks I could do with that negative sign, but I don't want to make it any more complicated than I need to. So let's just go ahead and do the negative, and then I have to multiply all of this out, and then I'll distribute the negative. So x minus 5 times x plus 8. I'm going to go ahead and just do my shortcut at this time. So it's x squared because it's x times x. You add these together to be the middle number with an x. So that makes a 3x. You multiply them together, that's a negative 40. And it should make sense. That's how we factor. What numbers multiply to be negative 40, add to be 3, 8, and negative 5. Check. All right, now I distribute the negative sign. And like I said, there's some other tricks we can do, but I don't want to mess with what we already got going here. So we got the 6 minus x squared minus 3x plus 40 all over x minus 4, x plus 8. All right, so they kept the bottom factored. The top, negative x squared, and the 6, and so that makes 46. Negative x squared minus 3x plus 46. There it is right there. So it's just the one more step of combining those, and it gives you that. All right, last problem. Yay! Least common multiple is what? Well, do you remember? They're different, so we just multiply them. X plus 5, x minus 4, and this is missing the x plus 5. This one's missing plus 5. This one's missing the x minus 4. All right, 6 is going to distribute to the negative 4 and to the x. And then this one, this is our, we have to multiply it out again. So then it's a minus sign. So this has that same type of format as the last one. So we know the bottom is going to be x minus 4, x plus 5. The top is 6x minus 24. There's that minus sign. X plus 2 times x plus 5. Do you remember the trick? X squared. Add them, 7x. Multiply them, 10. Then you distribute the minus sign. And we get 6x minus 24 minus x squared minus 7x minus 10. All over x minus 4 times x plus 5. And we're just going to combine like terms on the top. Uh-oh, things might cancel, so we got to be careful about that. So it could be a reducing. So that's what I've said we always have to be careful of. That's why we're kept it in the factored form on the bottom, is because it might reduce. So let's check. All right. So what does the top reduce to? Let's just look at the top. My hand's starting to hurt writing this over and over and over again. So we got a negative x squared. There's that. Negative 7x and 6x is negative x. Negative 24 and negative 10 is negative 34. And if these two weren't the answer, then I would go ahead and I'd try factoring it right here. But no, it does not factor. So it's this on top, this on bottom, which is exactly what that is.